What's up out there? We now know that 3.24 is going to be Necropolis League. So I am obviously in the planning states, as one would be, for what I want to do for the next league. And let's see, we come off of here. We're going towards Path of the Warrior. Apply that. So I have a grand goal of trying to do a armor stacker build next league. I started this league off with a Bone Shatter Slayer build, which I didn't like because it was a bunch of leech, and I didn't like leech. I don't like not having recovery. So I didn't like that, and I switched over to a Bone Shatter Juggernaut, which I liked a lot better. And I was planning on league starting that for this next league was Bone Shatter Juggernaut, but I tried a Caustic Arrow build that I really liked, and that blast through the campaign very quickly. I really enjoyed that build a lot, and I was ecstatic to play that. So I think I'm going to league start with, I think that's what I'm going to league start with is a Caustic Arrow build. Now I can always use the Bone Shatter Juggernaut or whichever build I want. I can definitely use any of those at any point in time. Or I could switch back to the Bone Shatter Juggernaut, I should say. And it's going to depend on what this next league is going to be. I don't want Spectral Throw, I want Splitting Steel. It's going to depend on what this next league is. Because if this next league is going to be, I've seen people speculate it might be a bossing league. I may actually work on my Bone Shatter Juggernaut and get that up to par. I'm not sure, but that might be what I tinker with this next league. So I'm not exactly sure how I want to do this, but what I was looking at doing is I want to do an armor stacker, and I thought there's three variants of armor stacker that that quickly come to mind. There might be a fourth one, but I can't remember. Number one is a Juggernaut, number two is a Champion, and number three is a Scion. Now, the problem that I've been running into, I've kind of tinkered around with the Juggernaut. I didn't really like it. It used shield throw. I keep wanting to say shield charge, but it used shield throw. Shield throw. I did not like shield throw. I thought it sucked. I worked on it for a little bit. It has no damage. They swore up and down that you could take it through the campaign, but it was going to be really slow, and it was horribly slow. So I really didn't like that at all. So I switched over to a Champion build. I've got it up to like level 30, and I kind of hit a certain point. I've been researching various YouTubers. There's Big Daddy, there's Seb K, there's I gotta get this name right, Mikoshi. Then there's Mikoshi, and there's I think maybe a fourth one that I was looking at some of their build stuff too. And everybody's got different build guides. The problem is every one of the build guides starts at like level 80 or 90. So you already have to have your character pre-built. Now, if I was good to go with a Bone Shatter Juggernaut, I could take that right on up to Armor Stacker Juggernaut and go from there. If I was to say start off with a Bone Shatter Slayer build, like I did this league, I could take that up. I'd have to regret orb off of Slayer and go back over to Champion, which I did on one of my builds here this league. So it's definitely possible. So I have options. I have those two options. But the other thing that I could do, and I could do a Caustic Arrow build to go through the campaign, play through and get everything done, and then do a Scion build. And this kind of kills a few birds with one stone because I've been wanting to do a Scion build. I've got this really cool looking Exsanguinate build over here that I've been wanting to do. And that's kind of what I'm tinkering with right now. This is actually the second Scion build. I've recorded this video I don't know how many times because I keep changing my mind and coming up with different ways to proceed forward. But I tried, I've got another Scion build going that was sort of a bow build, but it was really squishy and I just wasn't happy with it. I spent a few hours with that earlier today and got that leveled up. I'm like in Act 6 or something, so I'm just like totally restarting. What I forgot was that I had this Exsanguinate build that I wanted to do. Now, this is a Scion build. The guy's got it very well documented. So when you do an armor stacker, they basically don't give you any information on how to get to level 80 or 90 or whatever it is. You're just expected to get to level 80 or 90 on your own. And you got to figure that out. You got to sort that problem out yourself, which is fine, but like there's no advice, there's no help with it. It's just have fun. Here's what you do, and you got to have all these uniques and stuff. So once you get a character there, you know, which is the better build. And by the time you get to level 90, did you really want to make Juggernaut? Did you really want to do a champion? You know, that's a long way to figure out you did the wrong thing. So a lot of the builds that I see are Scion based, and I have what looks to be a pretty good Scion build to go by with Exsanguinate, and I've been wanting to do that. So this might be, I don't want to say, I'm going to say the word league start, but I don't exactly mean that I want to league start this from the get-go. I want to do Caustic Arrow, but then we will go over into this build from there. And we're going down to Path of the Warrior. Yeah, so we'll do that. Allocate that point. So basically this, you're going to have to regret orb off whatever you do. So whether it's some really squishy bow build or if it's this Exsanguinate build that looks pretty good, I think I want to try this Exsanguinate. I think I tried something of it last league or something, or I may have started one at some point. I may have started one on standard for that matter before this league. And I kind of liked where it was going, but I didn't get around to actually playing at this league. Next league, I think this would be perfect because I need to have a base Scion build to get somewhere else with. And this could be perfect for that. This is very well documented. It's a very well made, from what I can tell, it's very well made. Now, I haven't actually played it far enough to know, which is what I'm doing right now. This is all the testing and logistical stuff that's going to go into that. So I like the idea that I could do Bone Shatter Juggernaut, Bone Shatter Slayer, and then take those into either Armor Stacker Juggernaut or Armor Stacker Champion. If I started Caustic Arrow on Pathfinder, I would not be able to transition that into Armor Stacker, but I could potentially take the gear that I use for this build or for that build and use it on this build. Like I would use that one to seed everything, all the currency I need. This doesn't show, it's still not showing gear. Like I have to see what this one uses, whether it uses armor and evasion or what kind of gear it uses. But at any rate, I have a what looks to be a good viable build with a completely different skill, which is basically how you have to handle this anyway. You have to start with something completely different and then transition over into this. So I think I've got a build, and that's why I'm on my second Scion right now. Is I tried tinkering around with a build that kind of sucked and I didn't like where it ended up, and now I'm on a different build that I liked, so I just forgot I had. So anyway, I think this is what I want to do. And I think that's how I'm going to league start. Unless the live stream changes my mind on something, I think this is what I want to do, is I'm going to league start Caustic Arrow, that Caustic Arrow Pathfinder. I loved that. That was fun. That played through the campaign so quickly. And I do like splitting steel to start off with. This is a very cool skill. Let's see, we got a point to drop in there. And I need to go off this way. So now I need to sort out, no, I need to go back the other way. So now I need to sort out my Atlas passive tree. So the one of the things that I have to do is go into Heist. I need to go into Heist and Legion, and I need to go farm the Eater of the Worlds for a while. That's definitely got a drop that I need, which is, I did that this league, which worked out fairly well. I don't know how Caustic Arrow is going to be that in that environment. Like, I haven't done Caustic Arrow bossing yet. I'm only at level 89. I came back from last epoch and started playing around with my Caustic Arrow build a little bit. I got it up to level 89. I gained 2-3 levels somewhere in there. But then I started tinkering around with this. So I think that's what I want to do. And I'm just not sure how Caustic Arrow is going to be as far as getting Void Stones and stuff like that. Like Bone Shatter Juggernaut was fine. I'm sure it'll work, and I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure there's no problems with it because I think a lot of people play Caustic Arrow. I just don't know how far I can play into it. I have not had to do the mapping with it. I mean, I'm in the mapping section with it now, leveling it up, but I don't have a 6-link bow. I don't have a 6-link chest piece. Like I'm missing, I got a 4 or 5 link on both of them. So I don't have full damage. I don't have, I'm not level 95 yet. You know what I mean? Like there's so much left to do with it. So there's a lot of work to do on that build. And I think starting with Caustic Arrow will be a lot better than starting it in the middle of a league, because then I'll actually know whether I like it or not, and I can, restart Juggernaut if I want to, go back to Bone Jug. I know Bone Jug gets me what I need. But the thing with Caustic Arrow is that build moves so incredibly fast. Like you fly through the campaign. And same thing with that, the really crappy Scion that I was working with a minute ago. I mean, it's got some serious movement speed. You can blast through the campaign. I was 4 hours into the campaign in Act 6. So I thought that was really cool. And that's something I'll be keeping an eye on, is trying to get through the campaign as quickly as possible with my first character. This time around, I actually want to try to smoke through the campaign as quickly as possible. So that's going to be a goal. Get this stuff out of the way. Let's just get out of here. And the speed works in my favor for heist. I need to do a lot of heist. I don't know that I'll mess with Delve this next league. Like, I'm probably not going to mess with Delve at all if I don't have a Bone Shatter Juggernaut, and I'm mostly working on this heist stuff, trying to get the Replica Dream Feather or one or two of those. I think I might need like 2 of them. And then all the other uniques and stuff I get, there's going to be a lot of bossing. And then depending on what the league mechanics are, the new league mechanics for Necropolis, I mean, it may be something really cool that I just go spend all my time on. It may be something I completely ignore, like I did with the Ancestors League. I don't know. We'll see what happens. If it's a bossing league, like some people speculate, then having a armor stacker would be really cool. I think that'd be a good way to play. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. So that's kind of what I'm doing right now, is just running through this, tinkering, trying different things out, trying to figure out all the logistics of what an armor stacker looks like. I'm 99% sure that I will be using Caustic Arrow. There is always a potential that I go and use, say, Bone Shatter Juggernaut instead, but I'm fairly certain that's what I'm going to use, is Caustic Arrow. I don't see any reason not to. It's a fast build. It would be fast for heist. It would just fit so many more of the things that I want to do, and that's why I think that's going to be the one that I use. I'll buzz back to town and see if I can switch some gear up, add some skills and stuff to this while I'm at it. But right now what I'm working on is a Scion build. You'll probably see another video of it here soon as I get through it. I want to get this thing built up on the Exsanguinate side. I don't think I'm going to try to actually get this over into Armor Stacker, because that's going to be a lot of gear that I have to go get. What gives me hope is I do have, if I go into my jewels, I do have this Melding of the Flesh. Now that came from Eater of the Worlds, I believe. So I did get this. You do need that for the build, the armor stacker that I'm looking at, because you're going to be using Smite, and it's a lot of like electrical damage or lightning damage. You're stacking a ton of lightning damage, and you want that negative damage because you're going to inverse the enemies you're fighting. Like, it just, that's how you build damage with it. So I got that in here, and a lot of the other stuff that I was looking at, the Replica Dream Feather is going into heist. There was a bunch of other stuff that's random drops, so I should be able to get those drops somewhere. I didn't think they would be that hard to get. I mean, I don't have them on this league, so I can't throw them on and try them, but they didn't look that hard. And I'll come back to that because I think I need to pick one of those. At any rate, so back playing Path of Exile, planning what I want to do. I'll have a video up soon for how I want to plan my Atlas tree out, because I am playing SSF, and I will be planning my Atlas tree slightly different. Where I would normally put Delve in, I'm going to put Heist in, so we'll be planning around that. And I'll probably wait on doing the Atlas tree until we get the league reveal, until they show us what all the mechanics are. That way I can really plan around what I want to do, whether I'm going to ignore the league mechanics or not, or, if that changes my plans. So more to come with that, and more to come with this build here. But anyway, that will do it for this video. We will catch you on the next one. Take care.